Hi, Laura.
Hi, Tenzin, what's up?
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling excellent. How are you?
Good. What's the first thing you do when you wake up in Vanazor?
Look at my phone.
How do you like to start your morning?
Usually I lay there for a little bit and then sometimes I take a shower.
Coffee, tea, or something else?
Herbal tea.
What's a typical breakfast for you in Armenia?
I actually don't really eat breakfast, but if I had to, it's probably the eggs.
What's your go-to comfort food when you're missing home?
KFC.
How would you describe life in Vanazor to someone who's never been?
Oh, best place in all Armenia. Very beautiful, lots of mountains, very green, but also very cold.
What's your favorite thing about living in Armenia's third largest city?
That it's actually not that big.
What's the most surprising thing you've discovered about Armenian culture?
People won't get over the fact that I like to wear my chacos, and they always tell me that I'm never gonna get pregnant because it's too cold for my feet.
What's one thing you've had to adjust to living in Armenia?
Telling people that I'm used to having my chacos, and it's very normal. So give me the same answer over and over again.
How do you spend your Sundays in Vanazor?
On Sundays, I go to church, which I really enjoy, and what else do I do? And then I come home and I relax for a little bit.
What's it like going to Sunday service?
Oh, I love going to church. So the church that I go to here is the same one that I go back to at home. It's just an Armenian. So it's really cool having a community that I can jump in with all the time.
What do you miss most about Texas?
Ooh, barbecue.
What's one thing you love about being from Texas?
Everything. Texas is the best state there is.
What's a tradition from home that you've brought with you to Armenia?
That's a good question. Tradition I brought with me, I don't know. Gosh, this is a hard question.
We'll skip it.
Okay, thank you.
What's the best meal you've had in Armenia so far?
Ooh, of Armenian food? I love horlots.
If you could bring one thing from Armenia back to the US, what would it be?
Like an object or like...
An object.
I bought this really cool painting of Noah's Ark from Vernissage, and I'm really excited to take that home. It's probably my favorite souvenir.
What's one thing about Armenian culture that you've fallen in love with?
Just how friendly everyone is. They're very hospitable.
What's your favorite word in Armenian?
Probably vochich, because you can use it a million different ways. It's the best.
What's your favorite word in Portuguese?
Right now the only one I can think of is philia, so I'm gonna go with that one.
What's the most valuable lesson you learned during your missionary work in Brazil?
That God is always with me.
What's one thing you miss about living in Brazil?
Fresh fruit off all the trees.
How has being there shaped your worldview?
It helped me see and meet more of God's children, which I think was really cool. And just stepping outside of the American context, I feel like we take so much for granted.
How has your faith influenced your time in the Peace Corps?
The whole reason I did Peace Corps, a big factor of it was I felt prompted to do it, just for me to grow and stuff. And so it was a decision that I definitely took.
What's the most rewarding part of being a Peace Corps volunteer?
Having the good days with my students when they finally get something or when they get excited about an activity that just goes really well, and seeing them grow is probably one of my favorite things.
What's the biggest challenge you faced while teaching in Armenia?
Struggling with either lack of resources or just cultural differences where something I think we should do, maybe they don't necessarily do here. And so just finding new ways to adapt within teaching within the Armenian context.
How would you describe your students in Vanazor?
Excited.
What's one thing you hope your students take away from your lessons?
I just hope they have fun with every lesson, and each lesson they get more encouraged and excited about how well they're doing, so that they're encouraged to keep on learning.
How do you make your English classes fun for your students?
I like to do games, so my kids really love Kahoot, or I make papers and we do games on the chalkboard, or I taught them a few of my favorite American games, like Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza and stuff like that.
What's the best part of working with fellow volunteers like Pablo, George, and Janae?
Nothing. I'm just kidding. It's really nice not being alone and having other people nearby that I can rely on. Like today, for example, I needed help painting, and both Pablo and George came to help me paint so we could get this done faster.
What's your favorite memory from your time in Peace Corps so far?
Probably all the hangouts. I don't know if I have like a specific one because there's just been too many, but all the hangouts we do have been a lot of fun, whether it's been our entire cohort or mixed cohorts or just with the people here in Valenzor. It's been fun every time.
What's something you've learned about yourself during your Peace Corps service?
I know myself. That I need to be more adaptable and adjust to situations.
If you could give one piece of advice to someone thinking about joining the Peace Corps, what would it be?
Don't compare yourself to others, and it's a really good work to do, and you'll love it.
What's one thing you didn't expect about life as a PCV?
Armenia is more posh corps than I thought it was going to be, so I didn't expect to have all the amenities that we do have here in Armenia.
What's your favorite way to relax after a long day of teaching?
I like to, I mean, honestly, read a book or watch Netflix.
What's your favorite outdoor activity in Armenia?
My favorite outdoor, I really enjoyed hiking and visiting the different monasteries. There's so many different monasteries that are very beautiful here in Armenia, and so that's probably one of my favorite outdoor activities.
In general, do you prefer hiking or fishing?
Hiking, but I also really enjoy fishing. I actually went with my students once. Sorry.
That's cool. What's the most beautiful place you've hiked in Armenia?
Probably, okay, like hike, probably ChurchCon. That was a really fun hike. That was a good length and also led to a really beautiful waterfall.
What's your go-to snack while hiking?
Probably granola. I like to just buy it from the store, like the cereal kind, and then I munch on that as I hike.
If you could go on any outdoor adventure tomorrow, where would it be?
Tomorrow? Well, tomorrow I'm actually going on an adventure to Sunik, Mars, and I'm planning to go to the Taten Monastery.
How do you stay connected to nature while living in a city like Vanasor?
So one of the reasons Vanasor is so great is because we're surrounded by the mountains. We're literally in the valley. So anytime I want to get out into nature, I just gotta go about maybe a few kilometers and then I'm in the mountains.
What's one outdoor adventure in Armenia you haven't done yet but want to?
That I haven't done it but I want to. That's a good question. I know I want to visit all the monasteries, so that's one of my goals before Peace Corps ends, is to try to visit as many monasteries as I can that I haven't been to yet.
What's your favorite place to hike back in the US?
Oh, easily Utah. They're some of the most beautiful national parks.
What's one thing you always pack for outdoor trips?
My inhaler. Yeah, my inhaler.
What's your dream destination for a hiking trip?
When I get home, my goal, one of the first trips I want to do is hike in the East Coast. And I want to go up and down and do like Arcadia and a few other places out there.
How do you balance your love for the outdoors with your teaching schedule?
So probably mostly on the weekends is when I do it.
What's the most breathtaking view you've ever seen?
That's either Bryce Canyon in the morning watching the sunrise. It's probably one of the most beautiful views I've seen.
If you could take your students on a field trip anywhere in Armenia, where would you go?
I really love Lori Mars, or Tavush Mars. It's really pretty out there.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
To pray, always.
Who inspires you the most in your life?
That's just one person. That's probably gonna be my sister Michelle.
Okay. If you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
I think it'd be really cool to meet Jesus.
What's one thing you're really good at that might surprise people?
I can go cross-eyed, which is a really weird talent.
What's one skill you like to improve on?
Drawing would be a cool one.
What's something people would be surprised to learn about you?
Surprise. I'm missing a tooth.
If you could live anywhere in the world for a year, where would it be?
Maybe somewhere in Europe.
What's your go-to activity when you're feeling stressed?
To do meditations, actually. I like to sit down on my yoga mat and do a few breathing exercises with some guided meditations.
What's your favorite way to spend time with your Peace Corps friends?
Just hanging out at someone's house and just chatting or going somewhere and chatting.
What's your favorite holiday tradition?
So in my family at Christmas, Santa brings us cereal because when we were younger we didn't have a lot of money, and so Santa would bring us our favorite Christmas cereals that we didn't normally buy during the year because they were expensive. So even as adults, we still do that. We get our favorite cereals, and it's my favorite tradition.
If you could teleport anywhere right now, where would you go?
Right now, Texas.
What's your favorite family tradition back home?
Every Easter, we still do Easter egg hunts, and when we get together, we always hide one egg that is empty, and it's supposed to represent the empty tomb, and we share testimonies about the Savior.
What's your favorite memory from growing up in Texas?
Probably doing band. I love doing marching band with my friends. That was a lot of fun.
What's something you're most looking forward to when you return to the U.S.?
Seeing my family.
What's one thing you hope to accomplish in the next 7 months?
Finish my grad school applications.
What's one thing you're passionate about outside of teaching and the outdoors?
Besides outdoors and teaching, I really enjoy reading.
If you could pick any field for your master's degree, what would it be?
So for my master's, I'm gonna study marriage and family therapy.
How do you see yourself using your Peace Corps experience in the future?
I think Peace Corps definitely give me opportunities to meet people of different cultures and to have, especially having talked with a lot of the refugees from Artsakh, I think that will be helpful whenever I do therapy work with other families that are struggling with different things.
If you had to describe your time in Armenia in 3 words, what would they be?
Growth, resiliency, and love.
What's one piece of advice you'd give your younger self?
You're never alone.
And the last question, what's the legacy you hope you leave behind in Vanazor?
I hope that this resource room that I'm working on right now will be used for years to come, and that it will inspire more students to go after their dreams and do things that they didn't think were necessarily possible.
Great. Thank you so much for partaking in this.
Yeah, thanks for visiting.
Say hi, guys.
Hey.